Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today, that's too many. Today I'm going to do a reading for Aries energy. And like usual on this channel, we're going to do two rows. The top row we'll refer to as high vibe Aries energy. The bottom row is a more worldly, shadowy Aries energy. We all have our dualistic nature. We kind of have to battle within ourselves because we have to make decisions in our free will. And in our more high vibe Aries energy, we might like to do life differently, view life differently, put in some work and effort to heal or grow or mature ourselves. But in our more worldly, shadowy energy of self and these things of the world that we kind of want to indulge in, we all like to stay in our comfort zone, and that's what the worldly, shadowy energy can be about, just keeping doing things the way we've been doing it. We can all be tempted to do that, because if we do view life differently, take different action in our life, in truth and love, maybe there'll be some things that and people that we wouldn't hang out with as much, or maybe we'd change jobs, or maybe people in our life wouldn't like it. So some people are debating within themselves right now, and some people are done with the debate. And there's going to be some people that are moving forward in life differently than they were before. So the reason for the bottom rose reading is the fish, which is Pisces energy. We all, in our own Pisces energy, we have this idea of how we view life and what we think would be emotionally fulfilling. And the only card showing in the bottom row is Sweetheart. For one, Aries energy is about the self. We could like to make life more about ourselves. Do the things that we think will make us happy, because high vibe Aries energy is learning these lessons in life where instead of just being more about yourself and caught up in these things of the world, it's making decisions, more mature decisions in our life, learning lessons in life. And when our decisions are going to affect other people, we take other people into account versus just making life about ourselves and indulging in these things that we want to indulge in the world, or being more about our ego or our image or our status or indulgence or materialism. And there could be people that we love, from adult children to siblings to parents, romantic interests that we'd like to be in a relationship with, and we could be in a relationship with. But if those people kind of want to repeat an old pattern, and our intuition is kind of calling us and kind of telling us that, I'm ready to move forward in life differently, and they're not, it can be difficult. The reason for the top rose reading is the woman, which is Taurus energy, and the feminine figures can represent how we think and feel. And Taurus energy has to do with our philosophy of life. There can be people that we have love for, but their philosophy of life is different than us. More about themselves, more about these things of the world. And we might want to be in relationships with who harness a more high vibrational Taurus energy, who act more with character and integrity. And it isn't just more about these things of the world or them or ego or image. And there are people who really walk the talk. But we could be tempted to want to keep indulging ourselves in these things of the world, keep staying in certain relationships, even if we start to feel like it's really not aligned with our truth. But we might be happy kind of living our life that way, being in those jobs, friendships, and relationships. Let's go look at the three cards that aren't showing themselves in the bottom row. And Pisces energy can be where we don't want to see the truth, and we could be hiding a truth. And a problem could be in some of our relationships that some people could harness these energies in a more high vibrational way, and the other people might harness them in a more worldly way. And initially we can get in relationships with people and we don't realize that we harness these energies differently, but then over time we could come to realize it, and that what we find emotionally fulfilling, our idea of the dream life and dream relationship, is different than their idea of the dream life and dream relationship. And though we have love for them, I don't view life the way you do it, or I don't like to indulge in the things that you make important in your life. High vibe energy is being more independent of the world, your more immature nature, your ego nature. And some people could still be caught up in those things, and they're not the things that kind of manipulate us anymore. At one time they could have, but over the course of time, we come into relationships with all these different people to help us get more clear about what our truth is. And for now, some people might not realize that some of the people they're in a relationship with, that they are in a mismatched relationship, but over time they might figure that out. The dice, the garden, and the seduction. So, fire sign energy. Aries is a fire sign energy. Some people are more bold and brave and creative in their fire sign energy, and some people aren't. And if we are and they're not, and they might like to always stay in their comfort zone, and other people might be more willing to be more authentically themselves, be more bold and brave and confident in the world, but some people don't realize that they have that difference. The garden, which is about Libra energy. Some people, high vibe energy is going with the flow, where you do learn lessons in life and you do heal and grow and mature yourself, and you kind of get out of your ego and your stubbornness and your self-centeredness, or being caught up in these things of the world. Your idea in Libra energy, represented by the scales of justice, kind of what you think is just and fair is different. And you don't quite realize that. And then seduction, which can be fire sign energy of passion and creativity and inspiration. Some people are, again, more motivated to high vibe Taurus and high vibe Aries, about growing to your full potential. I and I'm inspired to do that, and other people might not. They're seduced by the world. They're motivated and inspired to work with these things of the world. They think that's how you should view life. That's what they think is just and fair. And they're still more seduced by those ways of viewing life and living life. But other people are more inspired to listen to their intuition and step out of their comfort zone and not keep repeating an old pattern of just making your life about indulging yourself in the world. High vibe Taurus is also about being a spiritual leader in the world. And in the top row, we start out with the snake card in reverse, Scorpio energy. And the snake card can talk about, and Scorpio can talk about kind of being caught up in the illusion of these things of self or the world, wanting to look like a shining star in the world. And that's the most important thing. Some people being egotistical and self-centered, and we're kind of caught up in the illusion. We all can get caught up in the illusion of the world. Like, if I go indulge in this, or I make my life about that, I'm sure it'll make me happy. And it does make them happy. And we just need to see the truth that if that, living their life more about themselves or the world or indulgence or conforming to the world or making their life about all these things is what makes them happy, but that isn't what makes us happy. And we could feel that we could stay in it and we could want to stay in it, but we could feel like it's more like it's not really our dream. And we could feel like it is more emotionally shallow and superficial. And high vibe people want authentic, warm, loving, deep, meaningful relationships. And people who aren't tipped out of balance into making these things so important, where it's a balance of both. We have some status or image or stability or security, and, at what point is enough enough? There's things we can go, I think the things of the world are meant to be enjoyed, but if we make those things the definition of our worth and value, or look to those things to make us happy, we're have kind of lost some perspective. And, is there balance in our life? Is it about being in relationships because I love you and you love me, and we're being authentic, or are we just creating the illusion that it's love because it's more about these things in the world, or more about you, or more about me? Love is supposed to be just and fair, and we're supposed to treat each other the way we like to be treated. And high vibe people want to be in relationships with people who are willing to be in those type of relationships, not so caught up in the illusion of the world or themselves and ego and image. And some people have seen the truth of that, and though they had love for people, what motivates and inspires you and what maybe makes you feel balanced within yourself and that you love kind of tips me out of balance because it's not really my truth. At one time, it could have been my truth because maybe I didn't look at life from a higher perspective. Maybe I didn't, I was maybe more in codependent energy, and I thought I wanted those things of the world, and I made my life. And I think we all grow up going through a phase of life like that because we do grow up in the world, and the world tells us about all these things we should make our life about, and that'll make us happy. And we go buy into it. We're caught up in the illusion. Yes, if I do this and this and this, and I have this and this and this, it'll make me happy. And then we realize it doesn't make me happy. And maybe I am more creative and inspired and more motivated by deep, meaningful relationships than making my life more about indulgence or ego, and also wanting deep, meaningful relationships. So then we have the ending card, which is like the coffin card in Scorpio energy. So two cards of Scorpio energy that are we willing to go on an adventure in life emotionally? Some people aren't. Some people kind of like to just create an illusion in a relationship. Let's be in a relationship, let's stay in a relationship, but let's not really ever do a more deep, meaningful relationship. Because in order to do a more deep, meaningful relationship, I would have to, one, put in work and effort in Taurus energy to maybe work through why I don't want to change. Why don't I want to be in a more deep, meaningful relationship? Why am I so caught up in these things of the world? Why do I make life more about me than wanting to make decisions that are best for everyone involved? Why don't I want to grow to my full potential? Why don't I want to step out of my comfort zone? Why do I want to keep repeating the same pattern over and over and over? And some people aren't inspired to be just and fair. Some people are kind of full of themselves and think people should want to stay in a relationship with them and kind of indulge them in a relationship because that's how they view life. They kind of indulge themselves, and then they think other people should indulge them also. And if they make their life more about them or these things of the world, they could want to be in relationships with other people who make their life more about them or more about these things of the world. And we're all individuals, and we all have our own unique dreams. We all have our own unique talent, skills, and interests. And again, love is supposed to be just and fair. I accept that you're your own individual. You have your own unique talent, skills, and interests. I don't try to make you make your life all about me, but you might try to make my life all about you. And so the ending card in Scorpio can be, even though I have deep feelings or deep emotional attachments to some people, the truth sets us free. I realize how you like to live your life and what you think is just and fair. Maybe in shadowy Aries, being more about yourself or kind of bossy or controlling, or the most important thing is to look like you have a certain, like you look like a boss in the world, like you have a certain status or image. That might be what's most important to you, and you are free to live your life whatever way you want. But that's not my truth. And so I am willing to emotionally detach, let you live your life, but I have seen this is not my truth. And then we have the dog and the house card reminds me of the Four of Wands card in Tarot of Aries. And the dog card, let's see what it says. Friend, trust, companion, dependable, support, protection, pet, loyal, soulmate. And the planet Venus, which is Libra, about, well, I know it's about Libra, maybe Taurus, But it's about, do we want to make our life more about comfort and indulgence, money, materialism, which can be more about ourself and indulgence, being in relationships with people who indulge us, indulging someone else for those things? Or do we really want to be in more authentic, deep, meaningful relationships where everyone is inspired to kind of walk the talk? Because shadowy energy can be, I want to present myself like a pillar of society, like I walk the talk, but I really don't. I like to indulge myself in a relationship, and I kind of have these illusions about what it means to be in a relationship, but they don't really want to walk the talk. And they could hide that they are more about themselves, and they think it's just and fair. And it's just looking for other people who are caught up in the illusion of who they are, and they like viewing themselves as this pillar of society, even though they could be someone who is more full of themselves, doesn't really walk the talk, doesn't grow and heal and mature themselves over time, and they want to keep maintaining the illusion of who they are and keep viewing themselves as a pillar of society, and they want other people to buy into the illusion, but things will never change. If they do live more from their mind than their heart, are emotionally shallow, superficial, could be intimidating and controlling, they don't want to see the truth of it. And if people start to see through the illusion of who they are and kind of realize you're kind of tipped out of balance, you're kind of more about yourself or these things of the world, or you aren't very just and fair, or you try to maybe manipulate and control people, you might use your emotions, you might use your sexuality, you might use, you know, your attractiveness or your money or whatever you got to try to keep manipulating people in a relationship. But you never detach from some more immature ways of being to kind of go to being where it isn't just about them, to working cooperatively with people in a relationship. So life's all about learning lessons, and love is supposed to be about treating other people the way you like to be treated, and about authentically being just and fair, not creating the illusion of being someone like that, but you like the scales kind of tipped more in your favor. Because then in shadowy Taurus, it can kind of be a more transactional relationship. Well, I have these things that you want, you have those things I want. Let's exchange resources in a relationship. But I do think it's a little bit more about me, and they think what they bring to the table is more valuable than what other people bring to the table. But what other people could bring to the table is that they're creative, inspired, loving, loyal, nurturing, supportive, authentic. And some people could think, if you leave because what I bring to the table, I think is so important. If you leave, I'll just go find someone else who's willing to indulge me living life this way, or being more about myself, or more about those things of the world, but they might not have that creative, it's kind of being more authentically yourself in fire sign energy. I am aligned with my hopeful, believing, loving nature. I'm warm, I'm nurturing, I'm supportive. It's who I authentically am. Other people can create the illusion of being that type of person, but it's not really the truth of who they are. They hide that they're more motivated and inspired to get these things of the world that they think are just and fair, and they want those things of the world and maybe be in relationships, have a certain status and image, but it's more driven by these things of the world than truth and love. And there could be some people right now that are seeing the truth of it. Other people have seen the truth about people like that. And we all have lessons to learn, that some people aren't who they present themselves to be. That they do try to emotionally confuse people about the truth. The snake of being kind of deceptive and manipulative. Look at me, I look like I harness high vibe Aries energy. You should want to be in a relationship with me. But oh, by the way, I don't take more bold, brave action in my life to be more authentically myself. I could hide behind my ego nature, create an illusion of being like just and fair and loving and all these things, but it's really more an illusion I create so people will get in a relationship with me. But then as time goes by, you realize I'm not who I say I am, that I am kind of more emotionally shallow or superficial, that I'm not loyal, that I don't act with character and integrity, that it isn't love that drives me in this relationship. It's more, I like people to love me, and that's how I could view a relationship. If it's not more about me and making it more about me, well, I'm the most important person in the relationship. you know, Instead of working together with people in truth and love and justice and fairness. So, what's coming up for some of the people who harness some high vibe Aries energy that they might not see coming up? And some people are realizing the people in their life aren't loyal, aren't inspired to, their philosophy of life is different. They don't maybe want to act with character and integrity. They might not want to make decisions that are best for everyone involved. They just might want to go indulge themselves in different relationships. I love love. If anybody wants me to grow up and mature myself and make decisions that are best for everyone involved, well, now the relationship's over because you're no longer caught up in the illusion and not willing to keep indulging me. So that relationship's over. I'm going to go find someone else to go indulge myself in a relationship with because I don't know the truth of who I am. And some people are getting out of those relationships. They don't view those people as people they would want to be in a relationship with because they see the truth of who they are. What's coming up for the high vibe people that they might not see coming up? The Page of Cups and the King of Wands, which is Aries energy. Why? Because of the Six of Swords. The 5 and the 6 of Swords talk about is Aquarius energy. We have a dream. And people had been investing and being hopeful. In High Vibe Page of Cups, it is like you were authentic, you were hopeful, you were believing in love, but you've seen the truth. And the Six of Swords moves away from the Five of Swords. People who have mental conflict about maybe looking at life from a higher perspective, getting out of the more caught up in the worldly, more view of life and dream and looking like a shining star or being more about themselves. They have a problem offering love to let go of that more worldly dream, to be more bold and brave and inspired to really believe in their dreams. What is it that really drives and motivates you? If you were to connect in, the Page of Cups represents all of the 3 water signs: Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. If you weren't so caught up in the world, how would, or your ego or your image or your defensiveness or something, what would you really like to do with your life? Who are the people you'd really like to hang out with? And what's your truth and all that? And some people, it's just, they can't see, they're so caught up and their judgment can be blinded by their ego or their defensiveness or thinking living the dream as being a player. Shadowy fire energy. There's all these things I want to indulge myself in. I'm sure that'll make me happy. That's like living the dream. I don't have to grow up. I don't have to take other people into account. It's just about me. And we had mental conflict staying in relationships with people who are like that. And it could have been, if you're moving away from someone in Five of Swords energy, they could be people who want to win at all costs. It's really just about them, their wants, their needs, their lusts, their greed, their pride, their ego. And it's not about being inspired to be authentic and loving and looking at life from a higher perspective. They're so caught up in themselves or these things of the world. And it was causing people mental conflict to keep staying in a relationship with them. I can love you, but yeah, I'm going to distance myself from you. And you can go hang out with some other people or get in relationships with other people or go find a different job, or you can find someone else to fill my position in this job because I can't keep staying here anymore. I can stay in relationships with people who are trying to deceive me, manipulate me, control me, be the boss of me, create a little hell on earth. But I think in a world of duality, if some people are creating a little hell on earth, there's other people creating a little heaven on earth. And because I love myself and I have learned these lessons in life and I have emotionally grown and matured myself, I'm not willing to give up my dreams to make my life about living life in a way that isn't aligned with my truth. And I am going to walk the talk, and I am going to wish you peace, and I am going to take this action to go find the people who are kind of more on the same page as me. Because I found out I am not really on the same page as you. And I wish you peace. High vibe people wish people peace because love is the answer. I've looked at life from a higher perspective. I've worked through my own mental conflict about why I'd be tempted to stay living my life like this or in these jobs, friendship, or relationship. And I worked through my own mental conflict about it to love and believe in myself and believe in my dreams. And I'm not willing to give up my dreams. So I wish you peace, and I'm going to walk the talk, and I'm going to go communicate with people in the world who I think are more on the same page as me. And I think as you do that, there'll be other people that will want to move forward with you because they see you're not trying to manipulate people, tempt people in their lust or their greed or their pride or their ego, deceive or manipulate people, that you are someone who really walks the talk, and you're not indulging yourself and you're not indulging others in poor behavior. And there's going to be other people that want to move forward with you because they see you are someone who walks the talk. What about people who might harness a more worldly, shadowy Aries energy? What they don't see coming, the Fool, the Emperor, the Four of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles. And the reason is because of the Seven of Swords. People who are kind of, you're either being truthful and honest and just and fair in a relationship, or you're trying to manipulate someone. And people can get in relationships with people like that, and then they love them and they want them to thinking they're on the same page, and then over time they realize they're not on the same page. But people can keep staying hopeful and believing, and the Fool card in Aries energy is like, oh, no, 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 I'm sure they're going to change. I'm sure they'll get more balance within themselves. I'm sure, one day they'll decide to take that cup of higher love and emotionally grow and mature themselves in their Taurus energy, and my dream will come into reality. Well, we can all do that for a long time because we can love people. But eventually there comes a time, other people have their dream and what they want to have come into reality. And eventually people do decide, the high vibe people in their life decide to offer themselves that cup of love instead of being a fool for those people and keep investing in those people. I'm going to offer myself this cup of love to look at life from a higher perspective, put life in perspective, think about what my dreams are, listen to my intuition, emotionally grow and mature myself and heal, and maybe get out of more codependent energy and work through my mental conflict about it. And eventually those people are going to go on a new journey away from these people. And they're going to make the decision, the Emperor and Aries energies about making this decision based on the lessons I've learned in life, that these people don't have the same dream as I have. And I, for a long time, hadn't wanted to see the truth of it. And I maybe had to learn to love myself and give myself the things that I wish other people would have given me. Instead of looking to other people to love me and believe in me and nurture me, I need to love me and nurture me and give myself the things that I wish other people would give me. And then when I do that, I'm no longer caught up in the illusion and being deceived and manipulated. And I'm willing to emotionally detach from these people that I wish would have moved forward with me in this energy, but they're unwilling. That's not their truth. It's not where they're at. We could say worldly shadowy energy is that they have some lessons to learn. And what some of the more people more about themselves or these things of the world, another thing they don't see coming is that because they keep being a fool in their defensive nature or full of themselves or caught up in illusion and things like that, they're not seeing the truth. And then they might not be seeing the truth about some of the people that they have in their life. Why do those people that do stay in relationship with them stay in relationship with them? It could be because if these people are caught up in these things of the world, there's people who are willing to be in a relationship with them for those things of the world. But it might not be because of love. It's because it's good for my ego and my image and my status. And I think it's great that you don't love and believe in yourself and aren't more bold and brave and confident. I'm glad you make these things about you or the world. Hey, you got these things of the world. You look like a boss in the world. I'll stay in a relationship with you. Works for me. But I'm not in it because of love. And the whole thing is that if people aren't in a relationship because of truth and love, why are they in it? And if someone else comes along that's got more status, more ego, more image, more willing to indulge them in their poor behavior or their ego, oh, sorry, I'm going to leave. So some people who weren't willing to do love could have decide to get in a relationship with someone more because of the money and the materialism and the status and image, and initially those people might be willing to be in a relationship with them, but then eventually it's like, oh wait, there's someone with more status, more ego, more image, sorry, I'm leaving because I'm kind of like you. And I really, it wasn't love. And so they might end up eventually feeling like a fool. Just like we all have when we kind of we could have rejected loving people and encouraging people in our life because we wanted to go indulge in certain things of the world and they didn't want to be in a relationship with us if we were acting that way. And then the people we were being in a relationship with, we weren't seeing the truth and we had growing up and healing to do. And the people were kind of indulging in a relationship with us for as long as it worked for them. But it wasn't really love. And until we learn to love ourselves and free ourselves from being manipulated by more of our lust and our greed and our pride and our ego, we're going to keep being deceived and manipulated. Until we are willing to make good decisions in our life and stand up for what we believe in, we can offer peace, love, and joy to a lot of people, get to know a lot of people. But in my Aries energy of the King of Wands, I'm only moving forward in a more involved relationship with people if we're really on the same page. I'm not just going to indulge myself in relationships because I've already been there and done that. And I don't, it just ends up getting me emotionally confused. I do get attached to people because we are these emotionally complex people. And they're not even the people that I should have ever maybe been in a relationship to be in anyway. Why would I, if I'm an emotionally complex human being, why would I get myself emotionally tangled up with people when I maybe shouldn't have anyway? But I could have, just because they wanted to be in a relationship. We both maybe weren't in a relationship. Well, I don't have, keeping life in perspective is, you know what? I don't want to be in relationships with people if we're not really on the same page as them. And I don't think they're aligned with my truth. I'm not aligned with their truth. I'd rather be loyal to myself. And so when people come into my life who are on the same page as me, I'm free to be in a relationship with them. There's some people right now that got themselves involved in something, and in order to get out of it, you know, they maybe have to quit creating an illusion. And then we can be in our pride and ego. Well, I created an illusion that this was my decision and this is who I loved and look at the life that we have. But for some people, it was never their truth anyway. But they'd have to be willing to take a leap of faith, and people could be afraid of people judging them, that this never really maybe was my truth. And I'd have to be willing to stand up for myself and what I believe in and speak my truth. And because some people are unwilling to do that, now they find themselves trapped in a relationship that maybe doesn't feel like love, but they created an illusion it was love. And because they're unwilling to get out of their ego to admit that it wasn't really aligned with their truth, other people who could be in their life that are more on the same page as them would maybe like to be in a relationship with them, but they kind of created this illusion, tried to confuse people about the truth. And then they'd have to speak the truth. And they could have a lot of mental conflict about speaking the truth. And so people they really could be in more alignment with, those people are going to move on because these people got themselves tangled up in a relationship that maybe they shouldn't have gotten into to begin with. So, and we've all been there. So, high vibe people just see the truth. I've got myself out of situations that weren't aligned with my truth. I'm reaching out and speaking my truth to people in the world who I think are on the same page as me. If they're kind of tangled up in something else, or they're already in those type of relationships, either way, I wish them peace and I don't let it keep me in mental conflict. We're not on the same page at the same time, then I'm going to keep moving forward because I need to be in a relationship. I can only have my dreams come into reality with people who are on the same page at the same time as me. And if that's not you, then, or you're already in a relationship like that, okay, then my dream can't come into reality with you. But my dream isn't codependent on a certain person. And I'm going to keep being loyal to my dream and putting in work and effort. And some of the people that I reach out to are going to move forward with me in this way. And there might be people who quit being loyal to being more about themselves and indulging themselves, to wish peace to being indulging in their more immature nature, to step up and pursue a dream. And you're just going to listen to your intuition, who really has grown up and matured themselves and moving forward in truth and love, and who are the people who might want to be in a relationship with you just because some other relationship ended, but you're really not on the same page and you're kind of like the next person they want to indulge in a relationship. And it's like, no, sorry, I don't think we're on the same page. What you were pursuing maybe didn't work out. So now if you want to be in a relationship with me, I wish you peace, but I don't think our truth is the same. The people in your life who you think are, I can have friends with a lot of people, but I don't think your truth is the same as my truth. And I'm not wanting to just get in a relationship with someone just to be in a relationship with someone. I'm not indulging myself in my shadow nature. And, people have to be on the same page as me, and people who I think really do walk the talk. And some of the people who might want to be in a relationship with you, you could have love for, but no, I think your loyalty is more to yourself and the world instead of being someone who acts with character and integrity. And I need someone who isn't more about the world. So there you go, Aries energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.